You're listening to Bleeding Blue, a podcast by myself, Adam Cooke, showcasing and talking with some of the best athletic talent around Exeter. This production is an extension of my high school media along with other journalism that I do, which includes writing, reporting, and announcing. Bleeding Blue will also soon be available on Exeter's student newspaper, The Talon. Stay tuned until the end of this episode for more information regarding that. Today's show is with Molly Giering, a soccer and lacrosse player at Exeter who has seen enormous success in just her freshman and sophomore years at the high school. Her and the rest of their soccer team took a 1-8 season in 2022 to an 11-game winning season just this past season, going 7-3 against league opponents with Berks County and district playoff appearances. Additionally, her and the lacrosse team in the spring looked to build upon an 11-9 season where they also made county and district playoffs. We discussed all of this and much more in today's episode. I hope you enjoy the show. All right, welcome back to Bleeding Blue. Today we have Molly Giering, a soccer and lacrosse player who has been recognized for her talent athletically by the BCIAA. She is a sophomore and is succeeding like no other in her grade. Welcome, Molly. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So, in 1 year for the soccer team, we'll just start about the soccer team right now. The team went from one win season to going 7-3 against Berks opponents. Really good season. What was that like? How did that feel?
Yeah, it felt great. We definitely put in a lot of work this season to get where we ended up, and definitely grew a lot as a team, worked together.
With a lot of talent returning with the soccer team in the next few years, from the class of 25, 26, 27, where do you see this team in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I see us definitely going far, getting to the playoffs, districts, and counties, and making it far. We got a lot of potential, and we've been through a lot of experiences, so.
Where do you see yourself with this team? Do you see yourself as more of a leader or someone that's making a lot of constant contributions always?
I definitely see myself more as a leader, especially on the defensive end, just like seeing what the offense is giving us each game and adjusting to shut it down.
So you're on defense, you said. What position do you play?
I play center defense.
What contributions do you think you're making most to the team by playing there and what you're bringing to the table?
Yeah, I definitely feel like a lot of it is just like putting in the work and putting in effort and just bringing intensity every game. It can really bring up the tempo and move the whole team towards success.
Your efforts for the team, for your play, were recognized as BCIAA All-Conference All-Star. How does that feel to you?
It feels great. Really grateful for it. Makes me feel good about the work I put in. Yeah, just keep going.
And you were honorable mention for lacrosse, right?
Yeah.
So, as a freshman, which is very impressive.
Thank you.
So, with this past season for soccer, we'll move into lacrosse later, but soccer, with this past season, how are you going to keep working upon that, building upon the success that you had?
I think definitely looking at the success and moving that momentum towards next season, but also looking at the errors that we had and the games we lost and fought through that can help us learn and grow as a team next year too.
What do you think about the whole team as will help stay competitive next year and be a real team to beat in Berks?
Yeah, I think we just have to keep working together as a team and building each other up and getting each other better and always playing 100% every game.
So with lacrosse now, the team, again, massive improvement from a lot of talent that's returning this season. So where do you see the team in the future?
Yeah, I see us doing just as well and getting into the playoffs and making a mark and definitely being looked at as more of a threat.
How'd you feel about last season, first year coming in for both sports? So was there anything different shifting to the high school landscape for you?
Yeah, definitely. There's a little bit more of a challenge, like just it's a different pace, it's a little bit faster, and a lot more people when you're trying out, but it's definitely just the same amount of fun and just the same amount of love.
Yeah. What impact do you think you're making for the lacrosse team, and what are you trying to do for this upcoming season in the spring?
Yeah, I think definitely just like bring the leadership into lacrosse as well and getting the whole team focused on each game and taking it one step at a time and just moving forward as a team.
For either sports, how do you were kind of talking about it, how do you prepare your team and yourself for each game when you're going into them?
Yeah, I definitely mentally prepare first, and I just like get in a headset of like it's game time, get ready to play, and I think warm ups are very important. Like if you take the warm up seriously, you take the game seriously. So
Is there any difference between when you're playing at home and away, like any noticeable differences for scholastic sports?
I think sometimes playing away when you travel, it does take a little bit of a toll on the team, get a little tired, but it's really never been that big of an issue before for either of the teams. We're pretty strong when we play no matter what.
Is there anything about the home crowd that kind of hypes you up, gets you amped?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever we're playing, especially if there's like family or friends or a little student section formed, it definitely pumps everybody up and you can just feel the energy change and it really helps us play better.
How did you get into each sport? You're very passionate about each one. So, where did that originate from?
Definitely like growing up around siblings that played sports and parents that played sports, it just like got me into sports and I just tried soccer and tried lacrosse and I fell in love with both of them. So
Yeah. So, you come from a very athletically rooted family. Your sister's playing field hockey in college, correct?
yep,
And your brother is a baseball player that's a senior currently.
correct.
So, how has that influenced you over the years?
Yeah, it definitely makes me wanna. I look up to them, so it makes me wanna like aspire to get to where they are, work towards playing sports in college, and just make them proud because they made me proud.
Yeah. How are you able to always keep working on each sport, always improving on it? How much time are you putting in to athletics?
Almost every day of the week. Definitely taking some rest time too, which is really important. But like, even if it's as simple as like going for a run or a walk or hitting the rebounder or the soccer net, just always moving because it's just so much fun and gets you better.
With all of that commitment to sports that you bring to the table, how are you also able to stay on top of school, staying strong with academics, with all that?
I think definitely it's important to like talk to your teachers if you're not getting something, if you feel like you're behind something. Just like putting in the work if you're gonna miss a day because of a game or a practice or you're feeling a little bit behind, just reach out to the resources that you have. It's very important.
Is there anyone that inspires you, on a day-to-day basis with anything in life, whether that's sports, school, anything else?
Yeah, I think my parents are probably my biggest uh, role models that I look to that drives me to do well in athletics and do well in academics as well because they just are my number one supporters.
Is there anyone, else that you credit some of your success to so far?
Yeah, I think definitely just like my siblings and like even my friends because always picking each other up and it makes me excited for the next practice and the next game.
What are some of the challenges you faced as you've moved up to the high school over these past 2 years playing sports? Has there been any, notable challenges that you've had to overcome?
Um, Not really. I mean, probably the biggest one would be balancing the more challenging academics with the sports. It gets harder as you go on to each grade, so definitely like just keeping it balanced and making sure you're doing well in both.
So you play club lacrosse for Fantastics,
That's
right?
correct, yeah.
So do you play one for club soccer team?
Yes, I do. I play on FC Revolution.
What kind of environment differences can you note between those club teams and Exeter?
Yeah, so I think they're pretty similar, but I think a big difference is on club, it's a little bit more focused on like your personal growth, and then in high school, it really focuses on how the team can grow and where the team can get. So the club just gets like you personally ready so that you can go help your team in high school.
What are some of the differences between how you bond with your team on Exeter and with Fantastics and FC Revolution?
Yeah, so just being nice to everybody, I have friends on my high school teams and then some of the same friends on my club teams, and then I also have new friends and they're all from different schools, so it's like good to just branch out and really get to know everybody.
What is it like when you kind of meet up against those people on your club teams and face them in scholastic play when you're facing them on like other schools?
Yeah, it's definitely fun. Good little fun competition, especially when you're playing a friend that you know. Makes you want to work even harder, especially in that game or wherever we're playing. And it's just fun seeing them.
Where do you see yourself with both, as a person and with your sports in the next couple of years and even past high school?
Yeah, I definitely see myself just continue to grow as an athlete and as a student through the next 2.5, 3 years left of high school, and then definitely go on to play some sports in college and keep it going.
Has there been any other sports or activities that you've been fond of or enjoyed throughout history?
I used to play basketball, and that was fun. I just didn't fall in love with it as much as I did lacrosse and soccer, and I was already balancing so much, 3 sports, and all academics was a little too much. But I think every sport is great because there's a sport for everybody. There's something for everybody.
Do you have a preference between soccer, lacrosse, something that you weigh more important than the other?
No, I don't. I love them both equally.
That's fair. I think that's all I got.
Okay.
So I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again to Molly for coming on the show, and thank you to everyone listening. Bleeding Blue will now be affiliated with Exeter student newspaper The Talon. In the near future, all previews and links to the shows will now be accessible through The Talon, but will still remain a part of Spotify, YouTube, and AdamCookJournalism.com. You can find the link to The Talon on Schoology or on my website. With the long downtime between the fall and winter sports, the show will include a ton of guests over the next few weeks. If interested, hit the follow button wherever you're listening, and check out my social media at Adam Cook Journalism to stay tuned. Currently, I have interviews planned with athletes that play tennis, basketball, and football. I hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving. We will resume shows after break. Thank you for supporting local athletes and journalism with Bleeding Blue. This is Adam signing off.